Hello, everyone. Today is Friday, uh, January the 28th, 2001. I'm Dr. Wiley White. I'm glad to be with you on today as we continue into our studies of relationships. And also, you guys give me a moment. I'm trying to get my other page on here so that we can see who we're talking to. Um, let's see here. Well, my private page, I want to welcome everybody from YouTube, Destiny Community Church page, and LinkedIn, and we're about 5 or 6 different social media. And my personal page, I want to see everybody's comments. And so on my personal page, I have to do something to get me going there. I got it. We're coming. Because I want to see everybody's comment, want to be able to entertain everybody's interaction. Okay. Now, if you're on my personal page, we'll be able to see your comments. Okay. Hope everything has been good for you guys today. It's been raining. I mean, not raining, but cold. Sister White and I have celebrated our 16th anniversary on yesterday. And the reason why I wanted to continue in the flow, could have took the day off, but since we're talking about marriage and celebrating marriage anniversary, I thought maybe we would just continue on to share with you guys our ups and downs and as we celebrate being together. So be a testament to you guys. All right, that you can do it. You can do it. Just take some work. All right, so make sure this is going. This is not just for marriage couples now. So let's understand that if you got some single friends, this is for single men, single women. And you may say, what I get out of that being single? Well, what you're going to get out of it is what it's going to take, what you need to know, what you need to be looking for. So you won't get no fish that you got to throw back. All right. So as a single, you want to be hearing and listening for what you should be looking for in your mate or spouse. And of course, please communicate. And also those of you that are divorced, you tried this thing and we want to hear from you as we talk about communication, because you're very valuable. You let us know exactly what not to do. And then we have some students that are single, divorced, and not looking for marriage at all. This is for you too, because what happens here, you are able to participate and let us know your experience, and not just us on live. Once the broadcast is over, because we use a third party, then Facebook at least and YouTube send it out farther throughout the world, and is shared throughout the world. So the more we share, the more people that it reach. All right. So I want to welcome the single, divorced, married, everybody. Lolly dolly, everybody. Let's go get started. Okay, so we are in our second area. Well, let me highlight some folks right quick. I saw some names coming up. I want to do that before we get started. All right, Minister Feld is still recovering from her vacation time. Well, I don't know if it was vacation. She went to go see her daughter off and getting married, so that's probably some work. And then my girl from downtown, Pamela Dickerson. All right, thank you for being with us today on a Friday evening. And my girl, Tawana Roundtree. All right, Tawana knows how to handle some mates. She can put them in their spot. So so I'm sure she's gonna have some interesting input here. All right. Oh, it is Amanda, y'all. Anybody know where Amanda is? Maybe she'll tune in later. Maybe she done found her man. She was saying she didn't want no man no more, but well, no woman either, I guess. But she missing. And I think what the problem is, let me say this and then we'll get started. If you hang with me for about the middle of February, we're having to change up our days and times a little bit. So if you can hang with me until about mid-February. That's right, T. So you can hang with me about mid-February, with this schedule change back and forth. I greatly appreciate it. Um, but I want to keep our Thursday. So if you're a regular and committed, I want you to be sure to put a slot in your Thursdays at 7. Don't put nothing in there. Don't put anything in there. We're going to come back to Thursday. That's a good time for us. But for another couple of weeks, we just need to juggle around, hopefully around on Fridays for now. All right. Okay. So this is our second time dealing with communication. And so communication, we talked about as an intro and getting pretty much a definition and why it is important that we would get a good understanding of communication. And now we are going into being practical, how we can apply it to our lives. And so while we're trying to apply it, I want you again to be interactive here and share your differences, your experiences. All right. Okay, let's go. All right. So again, the best communication includes listening. It's probably the number one thing in communicating is the listening portion. So the way you listen and respond to your mates determines whether you help or hurt your marriage. You can listen and respond in ways that put difference between you and him or her. According to how you respond can create a close or distant. It can go either way just based on how you listen, how you respond. All right. So always remember you earn the right to be heard by listening. All right. So we're going to, again, this is Christian Marriage Boot Camp. And so we stand by the Christian principles. That's the only way I can guarantee this thing will work, with love and Christian principles. So there is a love in hip hop boot camp, marriage boot camp, hip hop boot camp. So they don't have the same principles that we have now. So you probably get jacked up, slammed across the table or something in the hip hop marriage boot camp. But here there are some principles. And I know we feel like it sometimes. I know we probably have done it. But no, we got some principles. All right. So that makes it easier for us, actually. So we don't have to fish around for an answer. All right. Let me do a quick recap. Yeah, you tagged the man. Thank you, Pam. Thank you. Good girl. Pam, you be on it, girl. All right. So let's do this. Let's recap 2 minutes, just scripture alone from last week introduction about communication. All right. Okay. So first we from James 1:19 says, my dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Remember, we talked about that. And also, you don't want the wrath or anger to go, the sun go down on your anger, sun to go down on your wrath, simply because it's not so much that you may not wake up and not make amends with that person because you may be gone on the next day. But the main purpose for that statement is that the anger doesn't grab hold of you. It doesn't fester in you to the point where it's hard to pull apart from the part that you're angry. So that's why that don't let the sun go down on your wrath. That scripture speaks to that. And then the kind words are like honeycomb, sweetness to the soul and health to the body. So kind words can heal and it can harm. Then we talked about real quickly about my boy from Dragnet, Just the Facts Man. So if you remember him, he always in his investigation, the women just want to talk, and he just told them we just need the facts. And that's just y'all nature, and our nature is detailed. Just give us the details. All right. Then we're walking on down here. If you talk too much, it leads to sin. That's what's really for somebody that's talking too much, maybe in gossip or something to that nature. But oftentimes when we and you got some people, some friends that that talk too much, and you can tell when they get to talking, there's something in there just ain't right because they talk all the time. So, all right, and then we're almost there. We got two more to cover with you. All right, that's the one we just discussed about it. Not letting the sun go down on your wrath. So in your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry. Okay. All right, one more. There is one whose rash words are like sword thrust, but the tongue of the wise brings healing. All right. Okay, so now let's get on down to our lesson for today. So now we're going to dive. So that was like an introduction about communication and why it is important. So now we're going to talk about how to apply this stuff, some of the do's and some of the don'ts. All right, so I got 3 scripture guidelines that's going to lead us into this effective communication. Number 1, Ephesians 4:15 says, speak the truth in love. Speak the truth in love. Okay, remember that. So you may have to tell them about themselves, but do it in love. All right, and then the second, to set us up to go into this application of communication, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Now, I know we have the tendency to say some stuff that we know that will get back at that brother. I know we had a tendency to be so angry, but you know the right thing to say at that woman that will cause her to go be crushed. You know the exact words. So it may be the past, but scripture tells us, hey, please just do the stuff that builds up. Other stuff will come. All right. All right. Then the third scripture that I want to share with you for today, and then we'll get on in here. A gentle answer turns away wrath or anger, wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. All right. So there's scripture that talks about not provoking our kids. It's the same thing. We can say stuff just to provoke our spouse at the same time. All right. I'm guilty of yanking a chain. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Pam, I didn't want to call you out. I knew that. I knew that. I know somebody else on here too, if they still here. I don't know if it's a Greenwood thing or what. But Tawana there, so she done fell asleep. But I know my 2 homegirls right there. They'll yank a chain. They walk around with chain in their pocket. Just to all right. Okay, so all right, because your marriage is the most significant of all human relationships, the quality of your communication is vital. I'm here. All right. All right. Am I right about that, Pam? Tawana, am I wrong? Okay, now, Sister White, no, it's not just a Greenwood thing. I'm just playing when I say it's a Greenwood thing. It's a universal thing. And Chirral, thank you, Rev, for helping me out there, Pastor Morton. But there's that's a universal thing. All of us done walked around with some chains in our pocket, ready and waiting to pull it. Let that joker do something or say something just at that time. And that main chain, that main link in that chain is the past. Yes, sir. Don't get me started, Sister White. Now, Sister White. She's so like a little angel. I don't even know if she ever been out to a club and then I was gonna have her to come on, but I don't know it. Have you ever been to a club? Twice. She said she's been twice. And her mom and them probably don't know about it even now. She said she ain't like, okay. But anyway, so, and you have pulled some chains of mine. Now, so that's why I said don't get me started. She pulled the chain then. Y'all see how she put your little quote back up there so somebody know what we talking about. Y'all see how she just pulled the chain? That's pulling the chain right there. That was pulling the chain, my chain, because I know. See, all right. Oh my God. Okay, Pam. Thank you. God, I keep forgetting. Man, what I'm gonna do without you, Pam? Pam, every week I'm on the couch. All right, I'm gonna stay off today. I'm gonna work up. Now that's Sister White doing this production stuff that don't make no sense. All right, now I'm all lost, Pam. Twice, Lord. She must have walked through it. Let her tell it. Let her tell it. I think she just walked with her daddy. Her daddy. She one of them daddy girls. So and daddy didn't play much at all with his girl anyway. Only girl at that. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the dudes as we talk about applying this stuff. All right. So number one, you got that, Sister White, up there? Listen without interrupting and correcting. You don't see that? Okay. So if your spouse gets a date, place, or fact wrong, hear me, ladies, it's okay. It's really okay. We're you know, you can't try not to hold that against us. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all why it's there. Was it well, I made the arrangement for us to go on our little trip. We're not too far from the beach, about an hour and a half from Myrtle Beach. And so we'll go over there quick to glare at the ocean, maybe to eat and get a hotel right off the ocean. Okay, hold on right there. I want your opinion about this because I want your opinion because my feelings was hurt. All right, so okay, so I made the arrangements as I normally do for our travels, and I'm supposed to be retired from coaching, but I'm trying to stay away from it, but it keep calling me, and so I've been helping out a little bit with my former high school team, and so I scheduled thinking our marriage anniversary was today. So I scheduled our basketball team, the high school basketball team, is actually plays teams in Myrtle Beach, especially during the regional time. So just so happened the team plays on our anniversary, which was yesterday. So I scheduled to go to the game yesterday. I let them know that I commit to coming to the game to coach the game, and I knew this probably wouldn't be good for the anniversary, so I thought I was scheduling the day before if I hadn't lost y'all yet. To make a long story short, I thought today was the anniversary when in actuality it was yesterday. So when I told her about it, okay, well, the team is going to be playing on Thursday, on the 27th. And I'm going to go across there to the high school, Myrtle Beach High School. Before you finish, you were. Wait, Pam, hold up. Wait a minute now. Who was that? That was Pam. Both of y'all. Was that Pam or Miss Felder? Both said the same thing. Okay. All right. And your minister, Pastor Morton, your little minister, has told me I was wrong too, but I didn't know. Here's the thing. I forgot about the dates. I mean, it just was a moment, but she said, how are you going to schedule this on our wedding anniversary? Exactly, man. I'm sitting here saying this sounds y'all a trip, man. I can't. Okay, so all right. So listen, y'all. Okay, I got the date mixed up. Hello, my sister-in-law. I hope she's trying to bail me out. This Miss Gloria. she's my sister-in-law. So hope she bailed me out. So I got the dates wrong. I got the date wrong. One day off. And so she was hot. She was upset. So I told her I forgot. And then that went to another level, Pam. It took it to another level that I just got the dates wrong. So, we just not detailed. So is anything wrong? Why is that so wrong, ladies? Since y'all all talking. You have one day. Okay, but I got it wrong. I just got it wrong. So why, who all is that? Mr. Felder, Pam. Now, why was it wrong? What did I do as a male because I got that wrong? All right. And remember, put the little quote, or you got the quote out there for number one, the dudes listen without interrupting. Okay. Woo, man. See, that's the bishop right there. That's the bishop. Bishop understands. All right. See, now, can you read, Pam? I read it. Okay, Pam, I'm gonna have you.
Now, how would you have felt if she forgot the date when y'all got married and she showed up the next day?
She went with me now. We was in the place. I scheduled 2 days. She was with me. It was supposed to be 2 days away. And if she had forgot, as long as I was with her, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, no, I get it. Because it was your anniversary and that date. Yeah, I got it. Okay, but all right. I guess there's no winning with this. I should move on to the second one. But I must say now, those of you do have the little material that we're studying, page 18. It's not just my words, but it helped me because, I'm not that detailed. Not most men are. All right. So it says details are not that important. I know, I got it. The anniversary day is important. It's how your spouse feels. No, I'm talking about when y'all originally walked down the aisle. That date. I forget birthdays, Pam. So, I mean. What if I didn't show up? Oh. Okay, Sister White cleared that up for me. See how I missed that detail? And she as a woman picked that up. So that's just different. So if she didn't show up that day, come on, you don't miss that date. I mean, because there's a lot of planning, a lot of stuff going on. Stop making excuses, man. I mean, not stop overlooking the fact that, it was just a slip up. Oh my, no, because as a woman, we want right then, this is something you need to keep up with. Okay, I got it, cuz I'm gonna do that from now on. If I gotta write it down. But it happens. Can you do the reading for me?
Okay, Pastor Martin.
Let me mute this.
Pastor Martin says it happens. Never place that much emphasis on a date. Too much expectations, especially when you think a mistake can't happen.
Right. Too much. Now this is what this session is supposed to be now. Listen to me. This is supposed to be me sharing the male experience and y'all sharing y'all female experience and wherewithal. And see, Bishop Morton and I, we're gonna come at you with our Christian experience, and we're gonna give you the world experience when we was in the world, right, Bishop? So we're trying to help y'all understand how to get your fish, how to get your man. Now, if you go at your man like y'all just came at me because I forgot that little date. Well, it ain't a little date. I'm gonna write it down. But this is what needs to happen. You need to express it. Don't worry about that, Pam. That ain't none of your business. Stay out of there. Put that down. Don't worry about that, Pam. I still make my hands thirsty during the day. You gonna read? Oh no, you still want me to do it.
I celebrate my anniversary during different days, and my wife loves it because she never knows. Pastor Martin, I can get with that.
Okay,
I really can.
I can do that,
but it's never that on this end.
But I can do that.
And actually, I went with him to the game when I initially wasn't going to go to the game
Yeah, that kind of.
because it was our anniversary and I wanted to spend it with him.
But we
But
would have
it
went
just
to a game. We would have.
listen, don't be so quick to speak, okay? So I went because I wanted to spend it with my husband, and I know he commits to everybody else a whole lot more than he commits to me. So I'm trying to get used to that.
Ooh, that
But
was a
it would
jab.
be nice.
Where's my little
It
thingy?
would be nice. Just like I said, you had one day, just one day. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let me find my little what were we reading? Sometimes I see she forget the year. That's right. Sister Marshall, stuff happens. But if I can do that though, Pastor Moore, and I can do a lot of days. That I mean, different days that help. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. That's what I'm gonna start doing now. I don't know what she'll be looking for on that day, but I can do some days. That's good. Okay. I get the day. I never forget this conversation. So well, anyway. All right, my wife just got finished talking about you. I hope it was good. I hope it wasn't this. But she just took a jab at me. I'm trying to find the scripture. And that jab was, gosh, I forgot. See how deep? No, I said I just forgot the jab that you took at me in that little soliloquy you had there. Um, and it wasn't nice, but I'll circle back. We're talking about how wonderful you guys look together. Well, thank you. She makes me look very, very handsome. Pastor. She makes me. All right, let's move on. We got bogged down there. Well, I want to finish reading this though from the material. It's only about 2 more sentences because we need to get this out. All right, details are not that important. It's how your spouse feels. Now, okay, so I feel okay, she knows she should have known that I felt. And with the basketball thing, we're gonna go and do stuff. It ain't like we don't have a love for basketball. We probably would have went to see the Hornets on a vacation, on an anniversary or something. But or never mind. It's extremely important that you allow your spouse freely to express his or her feelings and opinions without you offering needed correction. That's I didn't even see that, but that's what you did a few minutes ago. Um, Needed correction. Hello, Reverend Tarver, Minister Tarver. I don't know if y'all can gang up today, I tell you. All right, so you need to really listen to what he or she is saying from the heart. When your spouse is finished speaking, try to summarize in 1 or 2 sentences what he or she has said to make sure you understand. Never respond before summarizing your spouse has said. Summarize what they have said. Many problems are caused by not understanding what is said or done or remembered. So now, ladies, you hear Bishop Morton and I are saying, from our experience, just count it how we say in church sometimes, count it to my head and not my heart. So don't come at your dude just let them know that it's important, baby. In love with the scripture that we read up there. Come in love. Let them know that date at that particular date is extremely important.
Now,
Now, the other thing is, if we still forget, you got to look at the heart. All right. All jokes aside, you
Sister
read that.
Pamela, Sister Pamela says, all jokes aside, we understand that mistakes happen, but some women place a special attachment to certain days, and we just want y'all to feel the same.
Okay. All right. I got it. I got it.
Cousin Sandra says, cuz just take her out shopping and out to eat. She'll be all right.
This and that's pretty much. I ain't go shopping, but we went to eat. and stuff.
Pastor Morton says, absolutely, but never think that we don't because we forget. That's the difference. Mistakes do happen. That's the problem with a day and the expectations without the space of mistakes.
Right. Woo.
Um, uh, Mr. Felder, that's correct. And she was speaking from her heart. Thank you, Sister Felder.
And I was speaking from my heart.
Thank you, Sister Felder.
Okay, we got to get to the second because I was speaking from my heart. Hey,
but you have to understand that I also have a heart too, sir.
Okay, both of us have a heart, and we have to.
Yeah, and I was speaking from my heart to let you
Right.
know my true feelings.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. All right, number 2 in the do's of communication. Look for the meaning behind your spouse's statement. Too often we react to what our spouse says before knowing what he or she means. For an example, has your spouse ever preceded a complaint? How did it go? Has your spouse ever preceded a complaint with "you always blank blank blank"? If so, you have probably responded immediately. You're wrong, and I don't always do that. All right. So, so we don't look for the meaning behind what.
Let me read these comments right quick.
Yes.
Cynthia, Sister Cynthia said, y'all need to set y'all's reminders for days that's special to your spouse. Amen. And
Yeah.
Pastor Morton says she sounds salty. I'm laughing. I'm so sorry. No more jokes. I'm not salty. I'm not salty, Pastor Morton.
She'll be all right, Pastor. I need you. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Okay. All right. So look for the meaning behind your spouse statements. And hopefully it's not a bad meaning. Hopefully they're not saying whatever they're saying to hurt you. And the best way to understand is to ask them. So he or she is probably didn't mean always as in every single time in that example. That's just a way to emphasize a point. The wise and understanding spouse listens for the meaning behind the words that may seem offensive or extravagant. Words have no meaning apart from interpretation. It is your responsibility. It's your responsibility, the one who's talking. It's your responsibility to try to understand your mate. Well, I guess the one who's listening, to understand your mate's true intention and not get hung up on words or deeds or dates. I'm just saying. So don't get hung up. We are not to get hung up. Either spouse, man, woman, don't get hung up on just words. And we talked last week in this younger generation of men, particularly. I'm afraid, coming from the educational system, being an educator, that most our men, young men, have a difficult time communicating as it is. When I say a difficult time communicating, I'm talking about with the English language, because we use so much slang and so much jargon and street talk that and the texting that young people do. I mean, I don't understand what they be texting half the time. So some communication with our younger generation. I'm not talking too young now. I'm not saying just 19, 18, 17. I'm talking about maybe 30-year-olds right now. So so with that said, we have to be careful. So we have to teach I know most of the people listening right now about our age, 50s or whatever. So we got to be careful, to be sure, intentional, to teach our sons and daughters how to communicate, to make sure the communication is plain. All right, you can read Cynthia, I guess.
There's a book called The Four Agreements, and one of them is never make assumptions.
Right. Never make assumptions. Okay. But why do we make assumptions? Why do y'all think that we are so quick to make assumptions? Because we do. I see it all. I've seen it all the time in my career, and I'm sure Pastor Morton as well. Yes, social media hurts conversations. Texting has become the new way of communicating. True. So why do you think we are quick to assume? If you can put that in there, why do you think we're quick to assume? And for those of you that don't feel like typing, I think we can do this. We're going to try to go ahead and put in a link that you can come in. There's 2 steps. You can pop in here with me in the studio while Sister White is producing, and try to have a conversation. I mean, you can have a conversation with us. I just don't want you to worry about having to type. We're already talking about communication in texting and communicating by typing. So I'm gonna put that in there some kind of way. Look on your
Okay. Pastor Martin says that people make assumptions based on expectations.
okay. Yes, that's good. Let me tell you, that is real good actually. Oh, that's the private chat. I'm sorry, Sister White.
Okay. Um,
I'm
Sister
trying to.
Talbert says that because we don't take the time to ask or get clear understanding.
True, but this is true. That's what we talked about earlier about the clear understanding. But that we are quick to assume because we are self-centered people. Yes, it's about us. Go back to Pastor Morton. I think I can run with that one. People make assumptions based on expectations. So that's why it's important also, with that said, with us being equally yoked. And we talked about that earlier, a few weeks ago, about equally yoked. That was our subject. Um, and again, we think it's equally yoked is just being a Christian to a Christian, but it is also having like-mindedness, because your expectations uh, may be so far off from your spouse, and it may be hard to get to your level of expectation. Now, if you're dating, you should be sure to be careful and intentional to measure that, to make sure that this person can communicate my expectations. Right? Okay. All right. So let us go to the third. Let's see. Right before we go to the third one, let me just finish this last paragraph here. I don't like that text. I, yeah. All right. Okay. So
Uh,
in fact,
Pastor Martin says, I will say this: men do need to expand their expectations.
mhm. um, I think the reason why we feel like we don't have to, and I agree, we should, but I feel like we don't feel like we have to, Rev, because um, women don't hold don't well, gosh, how can I say this? Some women don't hold us to an expectation. And I don't know if it's because of the ratio of men to women, uh, but some of us just want a live body, warm body, and they don't have to have no, or they don't have to have no job, no nothing, just 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 be in the house. They don't even have to be faithful nowadays. Just be in the house and be in the bed at a certain time. So I think uh, based on experience, I would say that certainly I believe that's why the expectations are low, because we're not held to a high expectation. Um, and so, all right, okay, what you want? So I'm just saying. I'm saying what I'm telling you what I know. And then I'm gonna tell you what I tell you what I see as it concerns at least young people in the schools that I'm. That's my experience that I draw from, and my experience, my own experience. Um, so yeah, yeah, okay, all right. Let me read this last paragraph for number two, dudes. The one, all right. So in fact, beginning a sentence with the word "you" almost always put your mate on defense. It is better to begin with words like "I feel like." For an example, instead of saying you always want to be with your friends, you should say, I feel like you would rather be with your friends. Isn't that nice? I like that. I like that. For it's coming from, and I probably can do that too. I think I do. Do I do that, Sister White? I don't say you. I say I feel. I let you know how I feel that this is what this feels like, and it may not. And it gives you the opportunity to make
I
things
I
clear.
don't ever recall you saying it like that.
I probably have to speak up. Anyway, okay. So how you begin sentences and conversations will set the tone for your entire discussion, and so be very careful, Pam. All right. Let's see, Pastor Martin, before we move on to the next.
We as men are not raised to have the same expectations of life or relationships as women. If we don't acknowledge that, we will never advance to the next stage of relationships and communication.
How y'all feel about that, women? Well, I guess, and then we're sharing what we know as men as well. So, um, yeah. I agree. It has to be on the man to for the woman to accept, not to accept, and the man to advance. And perhaps that is why it's less now. It's not as it doesn't take as much. All right. Hello, Miss Poe. All right. Okay. So let's go on to the third do now in communication. The third do is respect your spouse's right to a different opinion. All right. A different opinion does not mean one is right and the other is wrong. It just means you have a different opinion. Now, that goes to say also, it goes right back in hand with expectations. Now, opinions really comes from what a person has been experienced and knowledge, education. So all the person's opinions and politics, if I must throw that in there too, when I say life experience. So all of those opinion comes from there. Now, if you are married and you having to deal with different opinions, you got a lot of work. It's gonna take work. Not saying that it can't be done, but it's gonna be work. If you're dating and these opinions are so far off from your expectations, it may be about time to tuck tail and not try to change. Did you hear me? It's it's not our job to try to change because the change will only last a couple of days after we get down the aisle. All right. So now, if you have uh, met somebody equally yoked, similar expectations, then the opinions of each other won't be that far off. It won't be that far off. All right. So, in my experience, I've been where uh, opinions were so far different, miles apart, that I don't even know how to move on from there because you know, I can't get down there. Then there's opinions that's been more lofty than mine. I know I can't think on that level, you know. So these are things to take into consideration as single men and women before you get down the aisle. Now in marriage, it's It's gonna be more work. It's gonna be work. Now you're in it, but you gotta. It's gonna take work. Now how do you work from um, opinions? Try to educate each other. That's the best I can tell you. Try to educate each other. What you know, your life experience. That's what communication. Just coming, just talking about life, talking about your education, talk about your knowledge, and so and growing together, and while you're married, that try to kind of levels out a little bit, so that at least they can understand why you have that opinion. All right, so I'm ready for comment.
Sister, Sister Talbot said, I always say a lot of males and not men, but adult boys, because women with trauma bonds, in other words, just got to have a body, handicaps them.
I didn't
Not
know that.
over
Oh,
here, though.
yes, yes, I agree. I agree. Um, um, and we're yes, that is so true, and been there and done that. Um, you, but and the sad part is that the males, as Pastor Martin mentioned, in so many words, the males are fine with that. Some males are fine with that. I would go as far as to say most males are okay with being put that what Cynthia Mr. Topper said again. I like that term. Um, being uh, adult boys. As a matter of fact, that's all it's gonna be. Um, I don't know. We had the term of sugar daddy, but sugar mama would be the most appropriate in this generation and time. But we 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 tend to want a mother, adult boy. So I like that. Yes. Sister Pam, did you want to come on? Oh, she's trying to.
She
Okay.
had came in.
She came in. Yeah, bring up if she comes
She's
in.
not there now.
Okay, try again, Pam, if you're trying to come in. Um, just let me know if somebody come in. All right, so now let's talk about the don'ts right quick. How much time we got? Oh my God, we're running out of time already. Oh, that's our last. All right, so let's talk about the don'ts real quick. We got about 10 more minutes, 6 more minutes. All right, so the don't lose your temper. All right, hold on a second. I see before I move on to the next. I see Sister Marcia. All right.
Okay. Opinions are important. However, couples have to reach an understanding. If there is no understanding, couples must table the conversation and table the conversation to allow each person to think about each opinion and agree to pick up the topic at a later date.
Very, very, very good. Excellent. Actually, um, we talked about that last week. Actually, that is the suggested um, way to handle that based on the material from last week. Actually, um, say again. Pam's in. Okay, bring her on up. But while I can get her adjusted while I'm talking. But Sister Marshall makes a valid point that in the talking, the conversating about the opinions and stuff, um, table if there's a disagreement, table it for a while and come back to it later. And if you have to come back to it again, table it, nibble at it, come back to it again. Um, just take you got a lifetime together. Hopefully, Lord bless you. You have a lifetime together, so just don't do nothing crazy until you get it. If you're communicating and working together, it'll get ironed out, right, Pam?
Sure.
Yeah. Good answer, Pam. So now, was there a statement that you want to specifically make, or you gonna hang?
No, I was
Wait
just
a
gonna
minute.
say,
Oh, I can't hear. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to do something to hear. Uh, okay, I'm ready, Pam.
can you hear me?
I can. That was on my half.
Okay, I was just looking at Pastor Morton's comment where he was saying that men aren't raised with the same expectations for relationships in life. I kind of saw where he was going, but I wish that he would have elaborated just a little bit more, because I think that's part of the problem too. But that can also be like a crutch, because you find some men that that's their excuse in a relationship. Okay. That's their
Brother.
excuse in a relationship. Well, I wasn't raised that way. Well, I didn't expect that. I don't know what to do about it. And instead of trying to find a way to work through that and make the relationship better, it just becomes an excuse. And I say that because, for example, me and my husband work really hard on our marriage. We've been through ups and downs just like everyone else. And I think the reason why I say some people may use it as a crutch just to not do the work is
Mm-hmm.
because I could have easily given up when things got hard between me and my husband, because Stan, you know my family. I had no marriage guideline in my
Mm-hmm.
family.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
My
Right.
grandmother and my grandfather weren't together. My
Mm-hmm.
mom and my father weren't together. My mom and my stepfather didn't stay together.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I didn't have a marriage guideline to go by, or a
Mm-hmm.
relationship or marriage I could look at and say, okay, this is what I strive for.
Mm-hmm.
But by me knowing that these were the relationships that I was raised around, to me, for me, instead of using that as an excuse and saying, you know what, I give up, I don't want to work on it, I'll just do what everybody else did. This is what I saw. They I've had it and I'm walking out. But I turned it around and decided that that's not what I wanted for me. And that's not what I wanted for my children. I wanted my children to be able to see a marriage that has its flaws. It's not perfect, but that, hey, look, they're willing to work on it. They're
Right.
willing to work through their problems. They're not just cutting and running.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, while we may not be raised with the same expectations or the same experiences or whatever, I feel like it's a personal choice. You can either keep the cycle going or you can break it.
Right. Right. And that's the key. Um, Breaking the cycle, because it can become a very vicious cycle.
Hmm.
And you said something very important. I think I need to say as well. Um, Learning. I think I've, like you, Pam. I learned more with how to meet certain expectations with my wife as well,
Hmm.
because and those expectations, you said that you come from a single family home for the most part,
Hmm.
and even though my family was together,
Hmm.
uh, there's very little that I was able to take away from. Biggest
Hmm.
thing I took away was commitment,
Hmm.
and provision for as a man providing.
Hmm.
And but for as uh the nuances of relationship, very, very, very little, because
Hmm.
that generation of your parents and my parents, they just did the thing. They wasn't too much of
Yeah.
sitting up down. This is what you need to do, be able to do, or what have you. All right.
Pastor Martin says that's the point. We have to break cycles that women don't have to break. That's the key. And he also says that girls played house, men played
Mm,
heroes. It's most definitely different. It's most differently is no
No.
excuses. Heroes usually save the world, even if it hurts the family. Maybe our view of heroes need to change, but the majority of men didn't play house.
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Now I get
Yeah, and
it.
that's good. That's good. Actually, and see, my dad was that hero. and I think Pastor Morton's parents, all of his parents came from that same generation, um, and now that's where I hate to bring this back up, but that's the point I said. Sister White was taking a jab at me when she mentioned about taking care of others,
Mm-hmm.
uh, committing to others. I think you said. Like she's in another room that I can kind of look over where she's um, producing the show. But um, put that up about what Pastor Morton had said there about the heroes. Okay, and saving the word. So I've dialed it back a lot. You put down now. I've dialed it back a lot because that's the part that I definitely took after my dad and my mom. But as far as a man, um, making sure, and the thing was at home was dad make sure things at home was good before he went off to save the world. Now that's the thing about my pops. Um, Things at the house gonna be good, taken care of before he goes off to take care of the rest, take care of the world. And so the good thing with Michelle and I is that we are partners on a lot of stuff that we do for us, quote unquote, taking care of the world. Um, but was that a cheap shot that you were saying? Because you know, was that one of those? Which one of these don'ts? Let's get to the don't.
No, it wasn't a cheap shot. That was just expressing my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, see how she did that, Pam? She trying to say that's, but she didn't say I feel like. That's the communication part.
Next time I will.
Okay.
But but you know what? I understood what she meant because
I did.
I felt like that sometimes. You know, it's not that we don't it's not that we don't think that y'all are trying to do what you need to do at home. But sometimes it can feel like what's on the outside takes just a little bit more precedence than what's going on at home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So, so sometimes it can feel like, okay, they'll go and do this. I don't know. I guess it's the mentality of I go and do this. I'll get back home. I'll get to that. They know I'll get to it. So there's no
She she
urgency.
she hit she hit the nail on the head. That's exactly right. Because it's like everything outside takes precedence. And I know I've learned to share you with people. I get that. Um, but yeah, that's hitting the nail on the head.
So is that a man thing then? That it goes back again. Dragging past more.
Pastor Morton says, "Let that jab she gave you go."
Yeah,
All right.
let it go.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. I appreciate it. See,
Also, Mr. Talbot says, yes, these men are perfectly fine with being a leech. This literally makes me sick to my stomach. I see it all too regularly. Women, we must have standards and stop accepting and putting up with these adult boys. If they really, if they
Won't
really
you?
want you, they will
Mhm.
man up if that's your standard.
okay. So what do you? Well, I shouldn't even say that like that. But the man is not in the home in most cases. So what are
Mhm.
you doing as a woman, as a mother to are y'all making any? I'm just asking. I'm just one. It's not a jab, Pastor Martin, at the women at all. I'm just asking because this is a good points, very good points. So, is there anything that um, women as mothers can do uh, to help with this situation for us, the males? Or are you doing something? Or are you doing something? Or have you done something for us, your male boys, your boys?
Pastor Martin
Encouraging.
says she needs to change the environment.
He just being messy.
Wait a minute. Wait. Where I missed that? Where I missed? I missed something.
That's his response to Sister Talbert's
Oh, put Sister
comment.
Talk back up. Let me read that again. There. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Read it again for me.
Yes, these men are perfectly fine with being a leech. This literally makes me sick to my stomach. I see it all too regularly. Women, we must have standards and stop accepting and putting up with these adult boys. If they really want you, they will man up if that's your standard.
True that. True that. Okay.
Martin says that you need to change your environment.
Yeah, I agree. True that. And we're telling you, we actually, as men, we letting you know the real deal. If you let us do it, that's what we're gonna do. Christian, Christian men are not. You know. All right.
Well,
Okay.
Pastor,
So
the answer what you said when you asked are mothers doing anything with their boys?
yeah, I'm I'm
I
I'm
did.
I'm not saying are y'all doing something because it's not really your responsibility, but given the fact that you are most women are black African Americans are in single parent homes. I'm just asking, is there anything that you are doing? I'm
Well,
just
I
curious.
did, but it was me and my husband. I mean, for us, it was pretty much blanket when it comes to our son and our daughters. You don't accept just anything. You don't settle. You know,
Oh,
you
okay.
have you have expectations in life and you achieve those. You don't get somebody who is going to mistreat. You don't have to stay and be mistreated by anybody. You know, the same thing we always tell our girls, don't let him put his hands on you. We need to tell our sons that as well, because we have some women who will put their hands on men. So you need to tell them, you know what, you don't allow her to put her hands on you, and if she has to touch you to get her point across, then you need to leave that relationship, because I don't want you to do something that's going to get you further in trouble, because we all know it's human instinct. You hit me and I'm gonna hit you back. It ain't gonna
Mhm.
really matter whether you are a man or a woman at this point.
Mhm.
So yeah, me and my husband, the rules were pretty much the same. You don't settle
All right.
for either
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um.
Minister Felder says we as mothers raise our sons to be good fathers. What I taught my daughters, I taught my son that as well.
Exactly.
Okay. So they'll know. Yeah, the male
Exactly.
will know exactly what you're
Exactly.
teaching. Of course, the woman is concerned if she's
Mhm.
teaching the daughters the same. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we're going to have to close. I won't get into the don'ts today, so we'll pick up next week. We'll just do a quick review of the do's in communication, and then um, get into the don'ts uh, of communication and conflict resolution. All right. So we'll deal with that next week. So I think that'll be
Okay. Sister Fawn says, being a single mom, I taught my son that you treat a woman as you would want a man to treat your mother. I've taught him, whomever he marry, be able to talk it out.
right. I I can tell you right now that a mark for how you teach. Hold on a second. I gotta mute this. I'll turn it down. All right. Especially for those who are single, the way a man treat their mother is more than likely definitely how you're gonna get treated. And that's about 90% of the time. How a boy, a man treats their mother is how they're gonna treat you. I don't care how much they say they love you. That's all they know to do. All right. Okay. Let's see any more comments that we'll close out
Yes.
with.
Mr. Talbert says, I absolutely keep it 100% with my son and grandsons. I constantly teach them things and let them know the Talberts don't create no sorry men.
All right. Okay. So this is good information for those any more if there's any is there any more before we close? All right. It's in a nutshell. Yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys participating and interacting with what happened here. is that once we go off from being live, we use a third party um, programming. And so Facebook kind of keeps a lid on our lives getting out unless there's a lot of communication, a lot of interacting comments and so forth and so on. But afterwards, after the broadcast is closed, then that lid or that covering is taken off, and we're able to go around the country and the world actually by others sharing. So your comments tonight, and I said that to say that your comments tonight, your participation tonight, will help other men and women around the world. And we are intentionally in Africa. And Minister Felder can tell you a lot of our messages that come through our message box, particularly in our motherland, has a whole lot to do with a lot of marriage problem, and so this will help. So I appreciate you, and they appreciate. Hopefully, you're tuning in from the Destiny Church page. That's where, if you want to come back, and you'll see some of the comments that others will make publicly across the world. All right. All right. Thank you, Bishop, man. You bailed me out tonight, bro. I don't know where my men were today, but I appreciate you. God sent you today. Thank you, Pam and Tawana, Yvonne. Oh my gosh, Minister Feld, I shouldn't have started naming. I don't want to miss nobody. Sister Talbert, yes, Mr. Talbert. All right, okay. Well, y'all have a stay warm, and if it snows in your area, like I think it's going to do in our area up here on the northeast, stay safe, and we'll see you hopefully on Sunday. Sunday, we're going to be talking about what we talking about? I don't remember, but we're going to be talking. So don't miss it. All right. God bless you.